Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to welcome all of us to this esteemed program. I want to welcome our speakers, our honorable members in the House, in a special way. This program is very, very important to most Ghanaians, and then I will say to our women, because some years back, we know our women to be always known for the kitchen. But then we've gone beyond that. Today, things have changed. I'm sure you bear with me on this. And so the essence of this program is to make sure we also find a digital space where the world is gradually getting to. What is the role of our women? Are we getting them behind? Are we moving with them? And so today's gathering is very, very important to all of us, especially to Ghanaian women. I want to be emphatic because I want my women to be there. Okay? And so I welcome you in a special way to this program. But before we go into the main program, I'd like to invite three personalities to this table. I call it the table in front, not the high table. All right, so at this moment, I'd like to invite Mr. Salifu Amadu, the Country Director, Ghana Innovations for Poverty Action. Mr. Salifu is the Country Director for IPA Ghana and previously served as Country Representative for IPA Zambia. He spent about 8 years at IPA Ghana, progressing from Field Manager to Northern Regional Manager and Sector Lead for Health, Sanitation, and Social Protection. He has over 7 years of experience managing rigorous evaluations across sectors including education, health, agriculture, social protection, and financial inclusion. Sir Amadu, please, can you take your seat here? Please, let's welcome with a round of applause. The next is Mr. Imran Matin. He's the Executive Director, BRAC International of Governance and Development. Imran Matin, PhD, is the Executive Director of BIGD, leading its transformation into a globally recognized Center for Rigorous Research on Policy and Development. He provides strategic leadership, manages stakeholder relations, and oversees organizational operations. Previously, he held senior roles at Innovations for Poverty Action, Save the Children International, BRAC, and International Growth Center. He is a visiting fellow at LSCE and serves on advisory boards for several global research networks. Imran holds a PhD in economics from the University of Sussex. Please, with a round of applause, let's welcome Imran Matin. We also have in our midst Madam Sadia Aku Kpekata. Please, if I'm not able to get it right, forgive me. She is the Principal Program Officer, Department of Gender of the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection. She is the lead and she leads and coordinates. She has led and coordinated national programs focused on empowering women with skills to participate in public life. Her work is the work in the ministry helps shape policies that push gender equality as well as translating gender equity frameworks into action. She has been honored for her outstanding leadership and contribution within the civil service space. Please, the only woman amongst the men, Madam Aku, please take your seat. Let's welcome her. I think this gathering is a timely conference, brings together experts, policymakers, and stakeholders to discuss the transformative power of digital inclusion in empowering women and promoting gender equality. I presume that we look forward to exploring innovative solutions, sharing knowledge, and fostering partnership to bridge the digital divide and unlock opportunities for women worldwide. Let's embark on this meaningful conversation and collective action toward a more inclusive and equitable digital future. If you are with me on this, let's open this wonderful conference with a resounding round of applause. So, by way of welcoming us, I would like to invite Mr. Salifu Amadu to do that. Mr. Salifu, please. I think if your mic works, you can use the. All right. All right.
Hello? It works? All right. Thank you very much, Dennis. Distinguished guests from both national and international spheres, development partners, directors and officers from the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection, officers from the Ministry of Finance and other government institutions, members of the civil society, digital innovators, researchers, students, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. On behalf of Innovations for Poverty Action, IPA, I am delighted to welcome you to Ghana for the Access to Agency, Empowering Women Through Digital Inclusion Conference. It's both an honor and a privilege to co-host this event with our colleagues, esteemed partners from the BRAC Institute of Governance and Development, BIGD. Why Ghana? Ghana provides an ideal backdrop for our discussion as we've made impressive strides in mobile connectivity and financial services. Yet, a lot remains to be done to ensure that women fully benefit from the opportunities that these revolutions are bringing. Based on the 2021 Global Findex data, in low and middle income countries, 6% fewer women than men have an account. In sub-Saharan Africa, this gap widens to about 9%. And these gaps represent missed opportunities for women to participate in and benefit from the formal economy, to build assets and strengthen their agency within households and communities. This is why BIGD's research initiatives on women economic empowerment are so important. These initiatives generate rigorous evidence on the effective ways to overcome existing barriers that prevent women from using and benefiting fully from digital services. More broadly, they help us understand the causal pathways linking digital financial services and connectivity to women's economic empowerment, i.e., what works, for whom, and under what conditions. At IPA, these questions are deeply aligned with our mission to produce rigorous evidence that improves lives and drives policy change. IPA has helped develop tools to measure women economic empowerment. Our research has also helped to understand the effects of consumer protection challenges for women. And lastly, we have half a dozen live studies looking at how credit products could be redesigned to support women's productive activity. We're grateful to be part of a gathering where practitioners can engage with the rich insights that BIGD and its partners have developed over the years on complex challenges of digital inclusion. Together, we can bridge the gap between academic knowledge and real-world impact. This gathering is more than a platform for sharing findings. It's about building a community of practice, uniting leading academics, policymakers, and industry leaders from around the world. We hope the connections made here will lead to meaningful collaborations that extends beyond these 2 days. I look forward to rich discussions, innovative partnerships, and actionable insights that will help us seize the digital opportunities ahead. Once again, you're welcome to what promises to be an exciting conference, Akwaba. Thank you.
I'm very sure we can do better than we just did. I always want to have people speak in gatherings like this, brief as much as possible, so that we can have everything. You know what I'm talking about? Yes. So thank you so much, Mr. Amadu, for this short opening address. We are going to pick our next from Mr. Dr. Imran Matin. Doc, you have the mic.
Great. Thank you very much. Distinguished guests, all protocols observed. On behalf of BIGD, I would like to welcome all of you to today's conference on access to agency. Let me tell you a bit about BIGD, but before I do that, I would like to also thank our co-host, IPA, and the diverse audience we have here, which consists of researchers, policymakers, and practitioners from all over the world. Now, we have a long-standing relationship with IPA. At a very personal level, I also worked at IPA for about a year. So it gives me a lot of pleasure to see us coming together to host this very important conversation. Now, BIGD, we are an institute of BRAC University. So we are a university-based social science research and educational institute. And we are part of the larger BRAC ecosystem. And many of you may know BRAC because BRAC also works in many countries in sub-Saharan Africa, including Ghana. We are really proud to host this convening in Ghana. And as my colleague from IPA said, it is a regional leader, and there are very good practices in terms of digital inclusion and innovation. Ghana also offers a vibrant ecosystem of policy engagement, research collaboration, and gender-forward digital initiatives. And I'm sure we will hear quite a lot about that during the conference. But I think most importantly, the hosting event here is also our intent to deepen engagement with sub-Saharan Africa and foster much stronger South-South learning partnership. And I think this is a very, apt context to really host this, because the history of Ghana with great global leaders such as Kwame Nkrumah, I think very, very strongly positions the value of equitable knowledge partnership and a global Southern power. And I think that gives us a lot of ground to really take that whole idea forward, and hopefully we will talk a lot about that as well. It's great to see we have got keynote speakers, but someone like Professor Ernest Aritre, who has been really forwarding this whole agenda of a global Southern and equitable knowledge partnership from the global South. And I think that will be a very important agenda to really talk about as well. For us, this is a very important agenda, clearly, and we have been working in the area of women's economic empowerment and digital inclusion. But I think what is really important is through this initiative of We Define and We Connect, we have been supporting almost over 35 studies across South Asia and Sub-Saharan Africa, where we are trying to rigorously examine the the causal linkages between women's economic empowerment and digital inclusion. And I think these type of understanding of causal mechanisms are extremely important to come up with the right type of interventions and the right type of design features that can actually work. So I think that's really, really important. Today's conference is about access to agency. So we really want to talk about how do we move beyond simple access to actually meaningful agency. So what we're really interested in, not only how digital technology reaches women, but how to empower women through digital inclusion. So that is a fundamental question we are trying to really explore through rigorous research. What works in terms of not only access, but actual empowerment and actual agency. And we will be discussing concepts and measurements, but also how these concepts and measurements can be translated into specific outcomes. And we'll also examine sector-specific interventions, and finally conclude with critical look at risks and safeguards. So I think the conference actually provides quite a comprehensive framework for us to take this whole agenda forward in a very practical way. And I hope that we will critically engage and share generously and build meaningful collaborations to push this critical agenda forward. Thank you all very much. Akwaba.
Thank you very much, Doc. I would like to also invite Madam Aku. I think I'm so familiar with Aku to help us with the next speech.
Thank you, Dennis, for the opportunity. The founder of Innovations for Poverty Action, the Executive Director, BRAC Institute of Governance and Development, the Country Director, MasterCard Foundation, our development partners, members of the academia here present, our friends from the media, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I bring you warm greetings from Honorable Dr. Agnes Namomo Latte, the Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection, who could not participate in this very important conference due to her engagement on an equally important national assignment. She has asked me to extend her sincere apologies and requested that I read the statement on her behalf. Therefore, I read the statement. It is a great honor to deliver a statement at this August conference, which seeks to bring together researchers, policymakers, and donor organizations under the theme Access to Agency, Empowering Women Through Digital Inclusion. The theme for the conference is timely and appropriate, as it draws attention to bridging the digital divide and ensuring that women and girls are empowered and protected in this digital age. The conference is necessary in our time as it aims to explore the positive impact of digital inclusion on the empowerment of women and girls. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the use of digital technology among women, especially those in the informal sector, is on the rise and is gradually becoming an integral part of their daily activities. The internet is not merely a channel of information. It offers women with several opportunities in areas such as education, employment, market, health, politics, entertainment, and socialization. By accessing this information, women can enhance their well-being and economic development. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, even though the digital environment has become invaluable in the lives of women in conducting business, it can equally pose significant threats and lure them to become victims of cyber crimes, as well as groom them to become perpetrators themselves. This calls for stricter attention from government and other relevant institutions. It is for this reason that we commend the leadership of BRAC Institute for Governance and Development and Innovations for Poverty Action for their commitment to providing a conducive digital environment. Their efforts at empowering women to improve their livelihoods and actively contribute to national development is commended. Distinguished invited guests, the government, through the Ministry of Communications, Digital Technology and Innovation, has established a National Cyber Security Center, as well as appointed a National Cybersecurity Advisor to strengthen the protection of women and girls in the digital environment. Again, their mandate has been extended to coordinate cybersecurity in government and across sectors with the goal to eliminate all forms of violence and discrimination against women and girls in the digital space. Ladies and gentlemen, the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection, through the Parliament of Ghana, passed the Affirmative Action Gender Equity Act 2024, Act 1122. This act provides the legal framework to effectively and efficiently address gender imbalances in economic, social, and educational spheres, as well as to ensure equal participation of women and girls in decision-making processes to drive positive change. In addition, the ministry has taken steps to review and update the national gender policy to create equal opportunities for all and improve the educational, social, legal, civic, political, economic, and cultural conditions in Ghana. The revised policy incorporates current development trends such as ICT, and internet use by women to ensure it is responsive to the emerging gender issues. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to reaffirm my ministry's unwavering commitments to enhancing policies and advocacy efforts that strengthen the digital rights and promotes the empowerment of women. As leaders, researchers, policymakers gathered here today, let this conference serve as a renewed call to action, a reminder that everyone matters in the development agenda and that no one should be left behind because of their biological identity as female or male. Once again, I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to BRAC Institute for Governance and Development and Innovations for Poverty Action for their immense support and commitment to shaping a more inclusive and equitable digital space. I thank you all for your attention. I wish us all an insightful conference. Thank you.